Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Mogami-Class cruiser. The Mogami-Class is a cruiser line for the Japanese Navy where they designed it to be better than the prior class of cruiser, the Takao. The Mogami-Class had 155 millimeter guns placed on it in 5 turrets. The Mogami had torpedo launchers placed in it. The turrets were capable of 55 degrees of elevation, allowing the Mogami-class cruisers the ability to use their main guns against aircraft. Initial design weight for the cruiser was 8,500 tons, and all of these were in compliance with the London Naval Treaty of the time. Its official classification was a light cruiser, and this is due to a 155 millimeter limitation of the London Naval Treaty. During the construction, however, they pulled out of the Naval Treaty and they decided to upgun all of their Mogami-class cruisers with a 203 millimeter gun system. And they added extra weight onto the ship to the point where it almost doubled in the total displacement during the war. During sea trials, they discovered that the Mogami-class cruiser was top-heavy and unstable. During gun trials, they discovered that when the gun was firing, it was cracking welds in the hull. They retrofitted the 2 Mogami-class cruisers that were built at the time, the Mogami and the Mikuma, to fix this particular issue. And later ships, the Suzuya and the Kamano, would have a system to fix the issue prior to the hull construction. By the beginning of the war, they had outgunned them. They had added torpedo bulges, and it was a much heavier ship than initially planned, so it was reclassified as a heavy cruiser. The 4 ships saw action at the Battle of Midway, where the Mogami and the Mikuma collided with one another. The collision was so devastating to the Mikuma, she was eventually destroyed in the Battle of Midway, while the Mogami limped home to the attention of the Japanese naval yard. One of the back 2 turrets was completely destroyed, and the other one was severely damaged, so they decided to take the turrets off and put a flight deck where the back 2 turrets were located. The flight deck could house up to 11 float planes that they used for various operations, and the Mogami became a hybrid cruiser/carrier. The 3 remaining ships reunited at the Battle of Leyte Gulf, where the Mogami collided with another ship. She was unable to get back. She was destroyed by U.S. aircraft. The Kamano had all but 1 boiler destroyed. She limped home, where the U.S. sent out a task force to destroy her in late November, and the Suzuya was attacked by aircraft and destroyed in late October of 1944. So, fairly unsuccessful real life. But how does she play in the game? Stats: 39,100 hit points, 16 torpedoes, 8 on each side. Goes 35 knots, has a turn radius of 750 meters, has 50 AA guns, and it has either 10 203 millimeter guns or 15 155 millimeter guns. You're choosing between DPS of 155 millimeter
Confirmed
versus
penetration.
alpha potential with AP rounds in the 203 millimeter. So here's some gameplay on the map north. Right off the bat, I spawned and I went towards the friendly battleships in the center. As the cruiser, I feel it's my job to provide anti-aircraft support to the battleships. The enemy aircraft carrier generally will bring their squadrons to either destroy an isolated battleship or to destroy the friendly carrier on your team. So it's really important to protect the battleships and to find weaknesses in your line and cover with your anti-aircraft fire. The Mogami is a great ship for supporting battleships because of her speed and her agility. So she can maneuver, get in the right position to provide air support, and she has guns that cover up the reload time of battleships. So friendly is in an American aircraft carrier. The enemy is also in an American aircraft carrier. So my expectations are a lot of fighters, a lot of bombers, and maybe a token torpedo bomber. So a lot of fires. And yep, just sailing. It looks like we've got a couple ships that feel frisky and they're going to head towards the enemy. It looks like the enemy is doing the same, only on the other side of the middle island. So I use my torpedoes and I send them out. Perhaps I'll get them. Probably won't. Most of the time, ships will change their course frequently. But this enemy destroyer takes a big shot. Over half of his health. And he was not expecting that, I'm sure. Will he survive to my torpedoes landing on him? No, because I kill him.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
And I get first blood. Woo! That was so hard. That's okay. He sent out his torpedoes. They're not going to hit us. All is right with the world when you can kill a destroyer without him harming you at all. So I noticed that there was another destroyer in the vicinity. He's behind an island right now. I don't have line of sight for a shot. But it is a weakness in our line. If he were to destroy the friendly destroyer, he could get a straight shot on our carrier. So I focused to try and help kill this destroyer. It's like a friendly cruiser avoided those torpedoes. Thankfully he did. We land a tiny shot. A tiny shot. All we need to do is land 2 or 3 rounds and the destroyer is dead. And man, is he trying to make a break for it, and I think we just killed him. And yes, I did not notice it at the time. No, he's still alive. He killed a friendly. And I land all my shots short. I was so depressed there because someone's up. I pass up the chance to kill that destroyer. But we protected the carrier and we killed the enemy. We have an advantage. The game is looking pretty good. Now we do have a couple friendlies that are way too far forward. I wouldn't recommend going that far. Unless the enemy is so committed to move away from you that it's safer to move forward than to stay back. For some reason, this guy is just not moving. You really can't be stationary. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 people in the last 20 or 30 games where their ship isn't moving at all, and they are at the controls. This is, you know, these are easy shots. You need to be moving. It looks like what happened to him is he ran aground and he just committed to backing up. And as a battleship, you back up at about 7 knots. You might as well be stationary. I use a wide attack when the enemy's health is to the point where a torpedo would kill him, or 2 torpedoes. It's a higher chance of at least hitting one of them. I took a big shot, and it sounded like the rounds penetrated, so he's using AP. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the new sound files, which I appreciate a lot, they added little indicators that have better feedback on whether you penetrate. And you notice that little lag right there. Anyway, there's better sound cues for when a round penetrates versus a ricochet that bounces off, and it's great. It's great to help people learn how to play the game the right way, you know. And we just miss our chance to hit that guy. That's okay. So I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm gonna head towards the enemy now. The enemy took out one of our friendlies over by their base. I'm shocked by this. It's probably not recommended that you go straight for the enemy base at the beginning of the game. But hey, if you want to die, that's probably what you should do. And it looks like the friendly aircraft dropped their torpedoes and will 1. Yes. 2. Yes. I think a 3rd. Yes. 4. Why can't I get torpedo attacks like that? And I'm jealous. Telling my friend, you just landed every torpedo you dropped on that battleship. And he's telling me, yeah, I'm that good. And we're doing the island screen. This is where the island or smoke is in the way, so the enemy can't pick up the torpedoes that you drop until he has line of sight on them, which, if planned correctly and done right, is too late. But it looks like he's slowed to a crawl. No matter, we'll use the other side, because the Mogami has 4 torpedo systems, 2 on each side. And she's got 10 kilometers in range on those torpedo systems. So our torpedoes are pretty good. It looks like I missed every single one. And we're taking pretty good damage from this guy. He knocked out one of our turrets, but it's under repair. There's some bouncy. Man, that rate of fire. A lot of damage. Gosh, gotta get out of there. Boing. He's on fire though, so there's a constant dot. And I think he doesn't see us anymore. And all the torpedoes miss. Our middle turret repaired, which is good. And we're able to fire. I like using the 203mm guns. I feel like it gives me more potential damage. The 155 feel great too, though. This is one of those ships where you could really use whatever system they have available, and it'll feel good. And yeah, we kill him and he misses. But look at all this damage, man. I've got scorch marks everywhere, vents, holes. I am probably going to stay back to avoid the enemy's fire. So I'll be a more supportive role, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be left to my devices. So yeah, Mogami, you sail the ship. It's a long ship. It's fast. If you come from a battleship, you'll be comfortable with the length, especially a Japanese battleship. But the extra speed you'll feel immediately, and anyone who's played any Japanese destroyers will love the torpedoes. Not the turrets. The torpedoes, they have great range, and they do great damage. So they're a good finisher. I just love the Japanese cruiser line. I'm excited to try the Tier 5 Japanese cruiser they added. I worked up the line before they added it, so I never got the chance to. I went straight from the Kuma to the Alba. I'm curious if anyone's played the new Japanese Tier 5 cruiser, what they think of it. And torpedoes out of nowhere hit nothing. So there must be an enemy, maybe a destroyer. Yeah, maybe the enemy destroyer's on the west side. The friendly destroyer doesn't see him, though, so I'm curious how far away he is. We're just moving forward. Waiting for the enemy to show up. And yeah, when I saw those torpedoes, I was a little ready to kill this destroyer. So I'm definitely looking towards that direction. Everyone is damaged on their team, except for the Montana. At the time, I was kind of chuckling. I was like telling my friend, you know, as a Tier 10 battleship, it's always interesting to be the last person on your team to take damage. Because for me, whenever I play a battleship, I'm usually the first one to take damage because I move forward too quickly. But staying all the way back probably isn't the ideal strategy either. Look how weird this battleship looks from afar. I believe this is the Tier 9 Japanese battleship they just added. She's got like a citadel that's, you know, back half with a lot of empty space in the front. It's very alien. Oh, aircraft spotted this destroyer. And the smoke obviously is a dead giveaway that he's somewhere over there. He's clearly trying to hide from the aircraft with the smoke. You see that little puff of smoke? That's telling me that the enemy is laying down the smoke recently in this location. Now, I don't know the exact time. It's probably something like 5 seconds delay. So you can't just fire right at the smoke. But it's a general guideline that you can use to lead your target and, you know, maybe get a lucky shot. And we've destroyed everything but that enemy Montana and this destroyer. I don't want the destroyer to get out. If he gets out, he can hide with his short-range detectability. So I want to kill him so we don't lose this game or be a draw. And land some pretty good shots. And the guns have great accuracy. On prior videos, I've discussed how I feel like the Japanese dual guns have good grouping. It just feels like the rounds are going where you aim. Versus something like a battleship where like every round's going. And here's the parting gift.
Enemy
Take
destroyer
out that
foundered.
destroyer. Only one ship left, the Montana. He's almost as big as the state. Oh, and that destroyer sent out torpedoes. Too bad. This Montana's like barely moving. And my entire team is attacking him. Just look at these rounds coming in. Could you imagine in real life this kind of attack on your ship? I land a lot of my rounds, but I am not the one who gets the skill. If friendly takes it, that's good for him. So that was the Mogami-Class ship. She's really strong. I love her. Torpedoes, guns, speed, agility, air. It's got it all, man. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you next time.